Yeah, they're just one high, aren't they? Do you see how they've changed what they were doing? There's nobody here anymore. Where is this guy? Why have they done that? Yeah, this is play 121. Play you saw before was like play 12. We have done this to them the whole game. What was their adjustment? They got to drop the safety down. Does everybody understand that? Now, they can cover every gap now, can't they? All right, so now I have a choice as an offensive coordinator. I have a choice. And I love this stuff. Well, I either have to throw the ball or bring an extra blocker over for him or find my numbers advantage. Looking at the defense right now, where is there a numbers advantage for me to run the football?
To the right.
To the right. He's a corner. He's just inside leverage because they're cheated over that way. They're inverted. They're inverted corners. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. 1, 2, 3 defenders over there. I need to be running the ball to the right side of the field right now. Does that make sense? Is everybody with me here? All right. I've got to give my players the best case scenario. There we run up the middle, trying to get to the right side. Look at the blocking over here is pretty good other than this missed block. We've got creases. We leave the widest guy unblocked. Does everybody understand where we're going with this? Get into some other formations here. Okay. This looks like a mess from the box. Right now, I'm not in 12 personnel anymore. I'm in basically 30 personnel. 3 backs, no tight ends. I'm in 30 personnel. But to the defense, it's the same concept as 12 personnel. I have 8 gaps to defend now. Does that make sense? Everybody with me here? It's what I call smoke and mirrors. It's dress. I basically just changed the dress. All right, but it's the same outfit, but it's different colors. Are they 1 high or 2 high? Is the defense 1 high or 2 high, guys? 2, but he's snugged down. So I would look at that and say they're 1 high. If I run to the right, do they have a numbers advantage right now?
Yes.
Yes. So a really good coach is going to call a play which direction right now if I'm running the ball? Left. Absolutely. I'm going to take advantage of him being down, and I need to come this way because they're high over here. All right, I'm talking run game right now. I'm talking run. Coach Brewer's going to get into some pass game stuff off this. So unless I've predetermined a play call right now, which I think I have, a lot of what we do is I run stuff called check with me, or we do a ton of directional calls. So what is your inside zone call?
Gold.
Gold. I would call gold direction. And then when we break the huddle, we would come up. You're already doing that because you're not huddling. You're looking to see which way you want to run it. You're trying to catch the defense off guard with your speed. We do the same thing. We'd come up and we'd call gold direction, and I would tell the quarterback which way to take the play before he snapped it to try to put our guys in the best position. All right. This is our inside zone. We're just sitting it with the 1 back. We run right into the down safety. He made the play. But sometimes that's going to happen. All right, let's look at some different formations here. This is one of my favorite, and this is why. I'll tell you what, let me filter. I'm going to pull a couple formations out that really, we're going to go deuce, deuce flop, Roger I, and where's Rio? Trade right. Okay. This is a good one. I love I-back slot. 21 personnel, slot. Why? Well, when I bring this receiver over to the slot, nobody goes corners over anymore. Nobody does it. So you've got a corner now that's more of a run force defender. I like that. He's not a run player. Okay? Also, I'm making you make a decision on your numbers. You're either going to have to bump a backer to cover my slot if you want to stay too high, or you have to do what with the safety? Bring him down. And I'm messing with your tendencies right now. All right? So right now, I would look at this, and I would say, okay, they're going to not bump a guy, so we're loaded on the weak side. I have an advantage to run back strong. I can look at it right now and see that. I have a numbers advantage by adding my fullback to that strong side. I don't account for the corner because we're going to make him miss. We have to make him miss. I have an advantage to run the ball to the left side. Another thing we tend to do out of this formation is we will run 25 power H smoke. Why would I run H smoke out of this deal? Well, if you're going to add him to the box, guess what he's not doing? Covering my slot, and I'm going to take my slot, and he's just going to turn around. I'm going to hit him quick, and we are one-on-one with the safety right now. We're now making a cover guy tackle. Make sense? Football math. I'm trying to find the biggest advantage I can. So when we scout opponents, when I scout a team on the weekend, I'm looking for what, I don't change what plays we run. I'm looking for the formations that give me the best advantage. So there's a good chance this formation we felt we had an advantage to really dick with this. So we probably played this formation a lot during this game. What tends to happen, play 29. Early in the game they said we're going to defend the run on the weak side. So we probably threw games out here the whole game. Because I really like 2-on-2 with these guys deep. I love my quick game and those kind of things. The minute they start bumping him out, what am I doing now? I'm running over here to the weak side.
That's what we do when we do run our stack or our bunch.
Okay.
We just have an automatic smoke, like on each side. So the quarterback is going to do basically a zone read, see how many defenders are within 7 yards, and then decide. So if they're 3-on-3 on the bunch, we're going to run it. If we're 3-on-2 on the bunch, we're going to throw it. Same thing on the stack. If you only have a cornerback against 2 receivers, we're going to throw it. Otherwise, we'll probably run it. We'll force the defense to do something they don't want to do.
Check this out. You're talking about forcing them not to do something they don't want to do. They're in a little different look here. I look at this from the box right now. We've thrown some games out here, so what'd they do?
Roll on safety. Oh, did
All
you move
right.
the corner?
Well, look at the defense. Look at the box. What stands out about the box? What looks odd, guys? Something's odd here. What looks odd?
3 down.
Do what?
It's 3 on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Does anybody else notice there's no contained player on the left side of the line right now? Does anybody else see that? They want to stay this, and you start to realize this. You're a defensive guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right. Defensive guys are like meticulous. Like they hate getting out of their comfort zone. So like if you're a defense that likes to play too high, you guys are a one-high defense. You don't feel comfortable. Who's your defensive coordinator? Hugo, you like to play one high, don't you?
Yeah.
You guys are very uncomfortable if you have to play too high.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable. I'd throw all verts on you guys out of 2x2 formations all day. I would make you play too high because you don't want to. And you can't defend all verts 2x2 out of one high. First thing we all said when we flipped on the film is, holy shit, why aren't people running 2x2 all verts on them? I'd run it until you got out of it. I would seriously call it 7 plays in a row. All right? Right here. We have thrown this damn smoke out here so much early in the game. Culver, we smoke people to death in this formation, don't we? So we'd run 25 power H smoke. And we will throw that sumbitch every time out there until you defend it. Well, they don't want to roll a safety down. They want to stay too high. So here's what they've done. They've moved a linebacker out and cheated a safety down and bumped a corner. Is that guy used to playing in the box? Nope. Is that guy used to playing in space? Nope. And they're probably going to start slanting to the weak side because they have a numbers disadvantage over there. We're getting them out of what they tend to like to do, which is what we want to do. And here's the other thing I want to do. I want to get a tackle guy in coverage, a coverage guy, make him tackle. All right? So look at the left side here. If my back would read the inside zone right, A-gap's closed, where's he supposed to go, Sebastian?
Back.
Yeah, look at it.
He goes, yeah.
He's gone, but he doesn't run it the right way. Because our kids screw up and do stupid stuff like everybody else's did. Bad coaching. I mean, look at them walked out here now.
Yeah, they're terrified of smoke.
And we ran the shit out of the ball out of this formation against these guys with quick hitters because we had numbers advantages. I mean, we ran the ball to death out of them. Here it is again. Now, is the slot covered up here? No, this is Pulaski County. They're going to play too high no matter what you do. They're always going to play too high. So here's what we do against this team. This is a cover 4 team. Football math. All right, watch this. This team is very frustrating to play. It took me a while to really figure out how they're going to play. This year, I've got a heck of a plan for them. I'm going to wrap this up just to make sure everybody kind of understands what we're talking about. This is our base formation right now. This is a 2-high defense. So I'm going to go ahead and draw up their kind of contour of the defense. That's what they do. All right. Now, here's the problem against a 2-high cover 4 team. Are you guys cover 4? What do you guys run?
We are like cover 4.
You're like cover 4.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what's different about cover 4. If you play a team that's really good at it, we play some teams that aren't. These sumbitches are really good at it. They've won a state championship. We've not beat them since I've been at Southern. We've been close multiple times. They're the year we went 10-2. They beat us in the playoffs. They watered their field.
Yeah.
They do some very, very sound things on defense that give us problems. Here's what they do. They screw up with my football math. Right now I'm going to count for all these guys because that's what football math does. The problem is, guess who's constantly making plays when I play this team? They're a cover 4 team. Who's making all the plays that are killing us?
Safeties.
Yes. I told you I'm going to let cover guys tackle. Here's the problem we faced against Pulaski County. You ever heard the saying, it's about the Jimmies and the Joes? Their Jimmies back there are better than my Joe carrying the football. These cats are always making tackles and we can't break them. And they're making tackles 1-2 yards from the line of scrimmage. They are downhill right now. They are read stepping and filling. They are read stepping and filling, and these cats are making plays. It's been that way since I've been there. We can't, even with Damien, they're good enough tacklers. They were tackling. They had a lot of success against my All-American because they were good athletes, good tacklers. Okay.
They run the wing tee?
Do they?
Do they run the wing tee?
No. No, they're a spread, throw it around the field offense.
Okay, I saw the
No
agent
huddle.
tee on this on that's wings.
No, this is my base.
Oh, okay.
This
Okay,
is
yeah,
their
okay.
defense.
Sorry.
So Colbert, you've seen how good are their safeties? They freaking make plays, don't they? All right, they're very disciplined. So I've been beating my head against the wall. How do we get an advantage? Well, against this team, I have to game plan different because what do we have to do to those safeties?
Make them miss.
I've got to put them in the box. I've got to count them. Well, I got a problem if I have to count them. Now, they don't have a 7-man box. They have a what? 9-man box. All right, I got to block a 9-man box.
That's what we
this
love.
team. It sucks. So here's what we've done. I'm going to tell you some things you can do to figure out an advantage to hold the chalk. Again, this is football math. It's all an equation and somehow it's going to fit. Okay? Here's what we did. And this is about the order I do this stuff in. Okay? Well, I'm going to bring a guy over in the slot here. Now, what can this guy do? Who can he account for? I've added an extra guy to block that guy. So now we should be good. We should be good. But we have to win that matchup. Does that make sense? All right. Here's another formation that I've run against these guys a ton. When you go back and watch our film against Pulaski, you see that we run some formations we typically haven't run a lot. What is this formation?
Tackle over.
I run tackle over unbalanced. Why do I do this? Well, they're pretty good. This cat right here tends to be a little better than we can handle. They've got some guys. So I bring my two best blockers, my tackles. I bring a slot over to account for him. And now I should have an advantage, in theory. They tend to slant to that all the time, and we don't pick up movement real well up front because we're not coached very well. And that's my fault. So that's a formation we use. This year, this is something, Coach Colbert, we haven't even talked about all this yet as a staff. This is I've spent a lot of time this offseason how to answer some of this safety stuff. Here's what we're going to do this year against these guys. We're running option. It's great. I'm not going to block him. Sometimes I'm not going to block him. I'm starting to gain an advantage. But I still have to account for this guy. My tackle ain't going to block him. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm bringing my receivers in. Now who can they account for in this tight bunched formation? And who am I leaving free now? Their corners have never beat us. Their safeties have. We're going to take a chance. If I'm running option here, we're going to read one, we're going to block one, and we'll leave him unblocked. Does that make sense? Dive, pitch. All right, we're going to formation them different in bunch settings to get to their safeties this year. I'm going to even go unbalanced and do it like this. He has to come out now. Is this guy eligible? No, but I don't care. I'm trying to get an advantage on their safeties. Now I have numbers over here. And if I don't block these two, I've got major numbers, don't I? I'm excited to play them this year. I've got some answers that I haven't had before, I think. Okay? So, this is what football math is to me. I'm always trying to find, now this is run game. Pass game plays a big role in this, and he's going to cover some of that stuff. There's things you can do in the pass game to help your numbers out in your run game too. But I wanted to really, because there's games where you just want to run football. Like we have better, maybe our back's our best guy, which tends to be our case. We're going to run the ball. No matter what we do, I'm going to run the ball 50 times a game. And if I'm going to do that, I got to find a way to get an advantage while I'm doing it. It just makes sense. Something I've noticed with you guys. This formation right here is one of my favorite in football. I don't know what you call everybody. You probably go X, Y, and maybe this is your deal. 3 by 1.
Yeah.
Three by 1 formations. All right, and I think you're going to touch on some of this in your pass game. I think stuff-wise. Box here. If I get a 5-man box, I'm running the ball every time. You give me a 5-man box out of 10 personnel, I'm gonna cram it down your throat. If you give me a 10-man, or if you give me a 6-man box, and you have a couple fringe guys that are sitting on the edge of the box, I'm still gonna run it down your throat. All right. If you give me a 6-man box steady, I'm going to zone read you. I'm gonna power read you. I'm gonna do some of those things. Now here's something you gotta look at. If we're getting a 44 defense with a 3 high shell, which some people are going to play this out of this. They're going to man up on the backside. He's going to cheat to the trip side. And now you have a backside alley defender. There's a couple times I see you guys running outside zone to this, and I see you guys running the power read to this, you can't block this many guys over here. You've got 4 weak. You can't account for it. Okay? So you have to do something here. You either have to motion a guy over to account for that alley defender, or you have to stay to this side of the field. All right? But you lose a numbers advantage here. That was something I talked to Luda about. Because I noticed that on film a couple times. You guys were running into that on the weak side.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, we'll probably just screen out of this. Just how.
it's a good run formation
Mm-hmm.
if you run wide to the field.
Yeah.
Because you've got angles to block guys. Okay. You might have any questions about football math? An area that I think it is a huge advantage is short yardage and goal line. If you can find out where they're not on short yardage and goal line, you give people problems. We do a lot, here's something, I'll show you one more thing that we do quite a bit. I'll do it in another video. I'm a big fan of doing this. And this is this is the way, again, this is the way I was brought up coaching. "12 personnel. This is that double high, that too high Pulaski team I'm telling you about. They're going to play too high. I put a slot over there. Now they have an 8-man gap box to defend. They're going to stay too high. They're short a gap. And I pulled a safety out. See what I'm trying to do to this team? They're a little better than us personnel-wise. So right now I really like the scenario here. But check this out. I want an extra guy advantage. I'm shifting. Now I have an extra gap on my right side even. So I'm telling you, I'm going to run the damn ball right. I'm telling them. But I'm trying to get an advantage personnel-wise to do it. They just have some guys a little better than us. Do you see that safety? These safeties
He's
kill
feeling
us.
fast.
They kill us. They fill and they're good. That's one of the few times. That's a good play against this defense. All right, they killed us with stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, again, look who we're playing here. Too high. We're not accounting for those safeties. They press us here. We can't get to them. See how we've cheated him in? I'm going to say, this may sound like a foreign language to some of you. That was my joke of the day. Because
It's so funny.
Swedish is a foreign language to me.
You're really funny.
That was bad, wasn't
It was horrible.
We didn't understand.
It's early in the
it?
morning.
It's kind of
That was
bad.
bad.
That was bad.
It's early in the morning.
No, yeah, it's pretty early. Isn't it? So, okay, we're going to talk about. This is a very informal discussion because I want it to fit you guys. So, we're going to talk about football math. This is going to sound really stupid and corny, but this is the like, cornerstone of what I've learned to do as an offensive coordinator. All right, football math. Every football play that ever existed has a sweet spot. By sweet spot, I mean there is a defense that it works the best against. There is a number system or alignment that it works best against. That's what I call football math, to find the right scenario. Now, this is why this won't make a huge difference to Sebastian, because Sebastian plays so fast. He's not caring what the defense is doing. He's going to do what he does anyway. I've grown up in a different style of play in the sense that I was raised up in football in finding the best play possible every time to put our guys in the best position. Like I just talked about, I'm not real comfortable in a fast-paced no huddle. All right. Do I think it's good? Yes, it's just a little out of my wheelhouse. All right, so I'm going to give you kind of a overview of football math. We're going to use the most basic formation in the history of the game. I'm going to use our terminology because it's what I'm used to. Okay. Who's ever heard the term? Our defensive coordinator, Kevin Kling, very good friend of mine, very good football coach. Him and I always, I'll show him a play. He's like, that sucks. And then he draws up the defense and how it's going to stop it. And then I'll say, yeah, but if you do that, we can do this. And he'll say, but if you do that, I'll do this. And they'll say, well, our answer will be this. And we call it having the chalk last. Who's the last guy that can be on the board? The offense tends to have the chalk last in most scenarios. The defense is at a disadvantage. All right. That being said, it is your job in calling an offense to find advantages. Football math helps you use formations to outflank a defense, in a sense. Okay? This is the most basic offensive formation. I-backs, tight end, what we call 21 personnel. Are you guys using personnel terms?
I do.
21 means this. The first number is backs. The second number is tight ends. 2 backs, 1 tight end. 21 personnel. The most common personnel setting in football. It's starting to change. 10 is becoming a standard deal nowadays, which is weird to me.
I think it's moving
Back.
towards 11, actually.
Could be.
I think people like
In the
H-back.
States, a lot of people are playing without tight ends. They're using an H-back type
Yeah.
deal.
We did that a few years ago, having the
Which you would be considered an H-back in today's game
Yeah.
in the U.S. You're a tight end / running back / receiver hybrid, big enough to block, but athletic enough to be in the backfield. Okay? Here's football math. You look, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. When I see this right here, I don't see anything but numbers. Okay? It's just the way I've learned to play the game. Everything I see is numbers in what's called the box. Make sense? This means nothing to me right now. We'll get into that stuff later. First thing I'm going to look at is what gaps are everybody assigned to? Right now, does the defense have every gap accounted for? Do they? Yes or no?
yes.
Yes. Every gap on the football field is accounted for. There's a guy in the Mike has A, the tackle, the 3 technique has B, the Sam has C, the anchor, as we would call it, has D. On this side, the nose has A, the Willie has B, the bandit, we would call this other end, has C. Looks pretty even, doesn't it? The formation is balanced. So here's what I do. Football math. I count the number of players on the defensive side of the ball in the box to the right and to the left of the center. If I go right of the center, head up to right, there's nobody head up, is there? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 defenders to the right side of the ball. Everybody with me? Left of the ball. 1, 2, 3. Now looking at that right now, you think, well, there's fewer players on the left side, aren't there? All right? But we have to look at how many blockers do we have per the number of defenders. That is football math. All right? And you practice this and practice this. When we go into games now, we line up on the line. I call plays based on, I can just glance at this and know where the advantage is. Our advantage is to the right side of the defense. Why? They've got 4 guys that are playing over there. That's more than the left side. But how many blockers do we have on the right side?
1.
Center counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're 4 for 4, aren't we? If we go left, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a wash. All right? But I'm trying to gain an advantage. 1, 2, 3, 4 in this formation. I had my fullback. I now have 5 on 4. See my advantage? I've added 1 to that side of the ball. On the other side, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, add the fullback 4. So I'm pretty even either way. Well, I'm trying to gain a one-man advantage, guys. Football math. I want to have one more than the defense. 2 if I can. Check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 4, and then I'm going to run power and pull my guard. How many do I have on 4 now? 6 on 4. If you play 6 versus 4 in a game of strength, in a game of strategy, who's got the advantage? All right? So this is really, really simple stuff that is a huge difference maker in the game of football. Huge. I like my 6 on 4. So let's block it. We're going to double here. We're going to run power. Double here to here. We're blocking down to here. Fullback's going to kick. Center's actually going to take him. We wrap him for here. Check this out. How many guys do I have doubling here and down blocking to there? I have 2 on 1 eventually, don't I? So I can pick up a linebacker over the top too. We've gained a one-man advantage when it comes to blocking scheme. So we can actually pick up a guy on the other side of the ball. So bear with me here. Okay, now, this is where this stuff gets really fun. And I'm going to show you this on film and how it works. This is where defensive coordinators start to scratch their head and get mad. It's all about a numbers advantage. I'm just showing you the base formation to do this out of because it's the best advantage, or it's the easiest to see it initially. Is everybody with me on this? Okay. We're pretty well even here. Well, I'm going to shift my tight end at the start of the play. I'm going to do what's called trade to right. Trade to right. He's going to step off the ball. He's going to step on the ball. He's going to step back, motion over, and get down in the stance. Uh-oh. Let's look at the numbers now. 1, 2, 3. How many do I have over here now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 on 3. Pull a backside guard. What are my numbers now? I'm 6 on 3 now, just by trading my tight end to the other side. So what do you have to do to fix this defensively? What's the defense going to have to do? First off, do they have every gap defended now that I've done this? Do they have every gap defended? No. Where are they short? Out here in D gap, they're short a guy. So they either have to bring a linebacker down and over and shift everybody, or they're going to have to bring a safety down, or they're going to have to bump the whole front. Well, when you start making the defense move and change gaps assignments before the play starts, are they more likely to make a mistake? Yes. And that's what I like.
Well, that's the point that we're doing. That's why we're running.
Yeah, no, but the difference is you don't know if they're making a mistake pre-snap or not. You're just assuming they're going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to make them by lining them up shitty.
Sure, but the thinking is the same.
The
reasoning
is the same reasoning. It's just you don't see it right away. You just know it's happening. And there's an uncertainty with you.
Well, you see it on the sideline because everybody's screaming.
Yours is more high risk, high reward. Mine's low risk, but they have a chance to adjust. Okay? So that's what you're looking at. All right, now, here's what else is cool. Check this out. We're going to put this guy back over here. I'm showing you ways to get an advantage mathematically. Football, there's several ways. You can change the formation, you can motion, you can shift, you can line up in funky formations, you can put your strength into the boundary instead of to the field. There's some different things you can do like this. Another advantage in football, and you guys are doing this too. So Sebastian's not only running a play at full speed, fast pace, he's not blocking everybody. And this is the stuff I like. So here's the deal. Football math. All right? I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this without sounding like an alien. Okay. Your best player on your football field can be a game changer. Everybody has somebody that's your guy, okay? Your U17, you guys have a tight end running back that looks like an absolute stud. He's a good looking cat. I see a guy like that, I want to take him out of the game. I'm looking for a numbers advantage constantly. So every time I turn on the field, I'm looking for a numbers advantage. Within the numbers advantage, I'm also trying to do something to mismatch personnel or eliminate I'm not a spelling guy. Or eliminate your best guy. This is how I do things when I think about scheming and game planning for a defense. Okay? Always looking for what formation gives us a numbers advantage, what causes mismatches, and how do I eliminate your best guy? Well, something that creates an automatic numbers advantage, creates mismatches, or eliminates best guys is not to block everybody. For example, say this guy right here is an absolute dude. Really good. He's better than our tight end. He's better than my tackles. All right, well, we got a problem. If I can't block him, what's the solution? Well, you can bring a receiver in and you can double team him. You can put the fullback on his face the whole game. Or you can do what? Don't block him. Let him run free. And then let's make him make decisions. Let's take if he's a really aggressive player, let's leave him unblocked and slow him down by making him make decisions and taking away his aggressive play. Does that make sense? Now watch this. If we eliminate him, he is no longer part of my count. So now how many guys are right of the center?
4. Or
One,
right
two.
on the center?
3. And I still have how many for 3?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I can add my fullback. By eliminating him, I have 5 on 3. Now I can get a hat on a hat. We're not very good up front, so I get an extra hat for guys because somebody's going to miss a block. And I'm trying to eliminate your best guy by I've got a mismatch disadvantage, so I'm going to eliminate him by not blocking him and making him make decisions. Football math is what I call this. Does this make sense to everybody? All right, I'm going to show you some film. You guys have some football math stuff in your formations I've already talked to Ludo about. For example, there's times you're running power read out of 3x1 formations to the weak side, and they have an alley defender you can't account for.
Yeah.
There's too many over there. This thing doesn't like me today.
I think it's true. Yeah.
All right, go on, sleep mode. There we go.
Am I hitting what?
Then we hit those lights, bro. Hopefully I can keep everybody awake. All right, now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take you through a variety of just film. These are run cut-ups. I'm going to get out of this here. Here we go. And we're just going to talk through normal plays. Trying to get out of these bone looks. I got a lot of film, so bear with me. There we go. God, I can't get out of this Pulaski game. Oh, this is a good one. All right, let's talk football now. What personnel are we in on offense right here? No.
12.
12. 2 tight ends, one back, 2 tight ends is 12 personnel. 12 personnel causes defenses problems, okay? Because we now have an extra gap that you have to defend, all right? So, looking at this right now, how many defenders does the defense have in the box? It's a 34 defense, 3 down, 4 backers. How many do they have in the box? 7. When I'm in double tights, how many blockers do I have?
7.
I have 7 blockers. I'm 7 for 7. Good. How many gaps do I have?
8, right?
8. They have 7 defenders for 8 gaps. Does this make sense? All right, I'm going to show you this. He is the D gap defender. He is the C gap defender. He has to play both A's. He's B. He's B, he's C, he's D. They have 1 guy for both A gaps. Does this make sense to you guys? You know how I know right away when we line up right now, when we've come to the line, I know we have a 1 gap advantage in the box. How do I know it without even really having to strain myself to look? I know that 2 tight ends has how many gaps? 8. How do I know they're down a guy?
They only have 7 in the box.
You can look at the box and see 7, or I look right now, if we are in double tights and you are in a too high safety look. You see that?
Yep.
The minute we line up in double tights and I see too high, I'm running the football. You are short a gap on defense. That is football math. I know right now you are short a gap. Game of football, no matter what your offense is, some things are standard across the board. You want to make tackle guys cover. You want to make cover guys tackle. I've always thought that way in the game of football. Guys who cover passes, I want to get them in space with a running back and make them have to tackle them. Guys who are meant to tackle, I want to try to mess with them, get them running lateral while I'm running north and south, get them moving north and south while I'm moving lateral, or put them in space. All right? That's my philosophy with offense and personnel. All right? So I see this right now. I know they're short a gap defensively. Now, we have an advantage. Doesn't mean it's always going to work, but right now we have an advantage on the offensive side of the ball. Okay, the question is, where is your advantage? Well, this is a 34 defense. 34 defense. It's pretty balanced. I know you're going to be short a gap. I don't know exactly where. All right, let's do this. "12 personnel. Do I have a numbers advantage in the run game right here?
Yep.
Yes, I do. You're too high against an 8 gap defense, and I know we're going to have a numbers advantage. We have a chance of having a decent run play. All right? If we get a hat on a hat, we should have a decent run play.
And Coach, I mean that's basically how we look at it as well. Since we're a spread team, when we see two safeties high, we know either we're going to have a slot receiver that's uncovered, or we're going to have a run advantage in the box. It's either one of those.
Yeah. Right here. 12 personnel.
Yeah.
Do we have a numbers advantage?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now let's find the advantage within the numbers. That's what you see my quarterback looking at me on the sideline? You see him, we're in white there, I'm on the other sideline. He's standing there looking at me. You know what we're doing right now? I'm talking to the people upstairs on the headset. I know we're too high. I'm asking them, I can't see this all from the sideline. What's here and what's here is going to determine what we run now. I know that the numbers are what they are. Here's what I want to know now. How many guys are here? How many guys are there? The mic's playing directly in the middle. It almost looks like he's cheated left a little bit, doesn't it? Okay? So I'm going to look at that and try to figure out what's the best play to put our guys in right here for that. All right? We decide to go inside zone because he was cheated that way. It gives my center a better angle to him, which allows my back to cut back off that block. And we will stay in that and run that until they get out of too high. Same concept. Now, what are they in here? Are they too high still? Are they still too high? We've cheated him in to try to get to the safety. So they tend to slant to my tight end, which gives them a numbers advantage. We're a tight end run heavy team. So I'm moving my tight end around. This guy tend to be their big guy. They play over the tight end, so I'm flopping my tight end a little bit, trying to give us an advantage. Running back to the way. Look at that. That's a nice little hole, isn't it? But look who we can't account for. Safeties. I mean, they killed us. All right, we get 5 and 6 yards of carry the whole game, and we never get that big play that we lived on.
One of them graduated this year, I know.
Both of them did. The new kid's back. The Holman kid is gone. The Holman kid probably has 97 tackles in 4 years against us. They were they were 4-year starters, and they both ran like 4.6s. I hate them. I wanted to kill them both in their sleep. You know what's funny is neither one of them were ever all-state players. Nobody ever considered them to be great, and they were like the bane of our existence. All right, I mean, right here. They don't have our slot covered, do they? See how they're trying to do 2-on-1 out there? We punished them for this. We did some things later that really, they had to bump the whole defense. Now they've got nobody over here, so we ran sideways. But football math, formationing guys to try to get advantage. Any questions? Colbert?
Bob?
No.